Hello, year one. You're back with me. It's Mr. K, and we are going to go through our English for Thursday. Okay, I've changed to a new way of recording this because my other way kept on deleting what I was doing. Fingers crossed this works. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go through our lovely English. Okay. Hopefully you can now see my lovely screen, and I'm going to go through what we're doing today. So today we are carrying on with our writing of our innovated text, but today we're going to focus on the build-up and our problem. Okay. Yesterday you guys started and you wrote a lovely introduction, and I saw lots of lovely introductions sent into the Beach and Elm email accounts, which is fantastic. Now, lots of you yesterday, you may not have got up to the part that we're getting up to today, and that's okay. You may need to go back and do a little bit more writing, but that's absolutely fine. We're going to start with the speech starters today. So what piece of punctuation do we think of when we think of speech? What do we need? I'll remind you, they're like our slices of bread that go around the bits that people say. That's it. They're called speech marks or inverted commas. Okay, and that's what we're going to call them, inverted commas. Okay, so I would like you to point to where you think the inverted commas go in each sentence. I will read it out loud and then have a little think. What part is the person saying in each sentence? So, what time is it? Asked Angel. So we know Angel's doing the talking, but what part does she say? I'll read it one more time. What time is it? Asked Angel. Excellent. So the parts that are being said would be what time is it? Okay, because she is asking what the time is. Okay, so that's our speech sandwich there. I want chicken for dinner, said Monica. So we know it's Monica because we can see our speech word said. But where are my slices of bread going to go? Absolutely. I want chicken for dinner. That's what Monica says. She's not going to say, I want chicken for dinner, said Monica. Okay, I want chicken for dinner, said Monica. That's the part that we don't say. When we are writing speech, we have to tell the reader who is talking. Can I play on the computer, Mum? Asked Kayla. And again, it would be this first part. Can I write on the computer? Asked Kayla. Now, it's very tricky for me to draw my 66 and my 99, but you guys know that's what they should look like, so well done. I would like an ice cream, please, said Sarah. Okay, so she's going to say, I would like an ice cream, please. Well done. That's just a very, very quick speech starter, because remember, that is part of our lovely toolkit. Okay, now, yesterday, we were looking at Goldilocks and the Three Rabbits story. So we've been looking at this lovely story, and we have started writing. Now, yesterday, I asked you to try and get up to this part where Goldilocks sat in the chairs. So for your introduction, you may have written up to there. If you haven't, please don't panic, because you've got a little bit more time today. For our second part, we are going to write today up to the part where the bunny rabbits come home and they see that somebody has been eating their porridge. Sorry, it's not porridge, it's carrots now, silly me. And then last but not least, our resolution and our ending is this very final section at the bottom. We're going to write that on Friday because we like to split up our writing. So we've split it up into our beginning, our middle, and our end. We've written our introduction. We're now moving on to the kind of build up and the problem. And there's a lot of problems in this story. But one of the main problems is the bunny rabbits come home and Goldilocks is still in the house. And then our final problem is solved in our resolution section at the end when Goldilocks wakes up to see the three bunnies and she sprints into the forest. Okay, let's take a look at our toolkit. And I know already that we can tick off lots of stuff we have already done. So we've all got a story opener because I'm pretty sure most of us will have used Once Upon a Time. We've got some description of characters. I described Goldilocks as a young, pretty girl in a green dress. Some of you may have included some interesting verbs. We were coming up with lovely verbs in school about how Goldilocks crept into the kitchen or she sneaked into the house. So you may be able to tick that. We've got our repeated phrases just right. So hopefully we can tick that. We've got speech, my friends, because we're using the word said and we're using our speech sandwiches with our lovely 66 and our 99, our inverted commas. We've all got good and bad characters. Okay, Goldilocks, she's a good character, but she can also be a bad character because she's a bit cheeky. We've got our magic and our fantasy, and we're going to write these two towards the end. Okay, so try and use some interesting verbs today. So I'm going to model my writing first. So I'm going to share my screen with you and model my writing. When you guys do get writing, I will share some resources with you as well. Okay, so it should pop up back as me, and then I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully I'm going to be able to share with you my lovely ladybird. Okay, so this is my projector, or my visualizer. It's called a ladybug. So I have already started writing a beautiful kind of build up and problem section. If you haven't got this far in the text, please don't panic because you can go back. So I started with, when Goldilocks got upstairs, she went into the beautiful bedroom. You can see I've used a lovely adjective to describe the bedroom. Maybe you could use a different one. She could see 3 wooden, comfy looking beds. It's a more beautiful description, painting a picture in the reader's head. Goldilocks jumped into Daddy Bunny's bed and said, "This bed is too hard." What happens next? Maybe have a flick back in the video to our text map if you're not sure. That's it, team. Goldilocks then jumps into Mummy Bunny's bed. Okay, so I can carry on with a nice capital letter. I'm using my lines beautifully. We're really trying to focus on our presentation today, team. Goldilocks jumped into, and I'm going to use nice capital letters for names, Mummy Bunny's bed. Goldilocks jumped into Mummy Bunny's bed. Okay, I'm going to put a little comma there. But this time, what was it? Was it too hard? No, this time it was too, and one of the words that we're getting incorrect sometimes is our to sound. It's a long oo, so 2 O's, was too soft. And it's like a big fluffy cloud, isn't it? You could write that if you wanted, because that's a really, really lovely, lovely piece of description. But this time it was too soft. Full stop. Now what we would do is we would go on to write about how Goldilocks jumped into Baby Bunny's bed. And she said this was just right. So what did she do? That's it, team. She fell asleep. And this is where the kind of problem starts. And then we were going to write about how the 3 bunnies came home and they went into the kitchen, and Daddy Bunny saw that his carrots had been nibbled, and Mummy Bunny saw that her carrots had been nibbled, and Baby Bunny saw that her carrots had been nibbled as well. And that is all we're going to get up to today in our build up and our problem section. Okay, I'm now going to go back to my normal screen and I'm going to share with you some of the resources that you can use. Okay, so here is our presentation again, and here is a lovely word map that I showed you yesterday. Feel free to use some of the lovely sentences and the lovely ideas from here. The synonyms for said, instead of saying said, you could use some different words. You could use some adverbs to describe how Goldilocks jumped in the bed. Did she jump in the bed gracefully? Did the bunnies come home silent? Okay. Did they creep up the stairs quietly? You could do some interesting verbs in here. Okay. And there's some lovely keywords at the bottom. So you can use that. If you think you need a bit more support, usually what we do in school is we use our yellow sheets. We obviously don't have those at the moment. We are working on a way of being able to share resources with you guys at home. And we thank you very much for your patience. But you can fill in the blanks. When she got upstairs, she saw 3 beds and she felt very sleepy. She lay down on the big bed and said, well, we know what she said. She said, this bed is too hard. She lay down on the medium bed and said, you guys can tell me. She lay down on the small bed and said, you guys can tell me. She then fell asleep. And then you'd go on to the part where the bunnies came home, and we're only getting up to the part where they have seen someone, where they know that someone has been eating their carrots. I know it's super hard trying to do this at home without any teacher help. We usually try and visit you in English lessons and have some teacher time to talk about your story and give you some pointers. But please keep going, work on your lovely handwriting, keep your presentation neat, and I can't wait to see more of your stories. Thank you, team.